My name is Morris Matza, and in this video, I want to discuss the methods of GraphQL cost analysis and where they're used. A GraphQL transaction starts in a client, which might use a client library like Apollo, and sends a GraphQL query over the network. The query might go through a proxy such as Akamai or an API management system on its way to the backend server. The server in turn runs some GraphQL middleware and then a GraphQL execution engine before the middleware returns the JSON response. This response returns through the proxy and back to the client software. In another video, we discussed why GraphQL cost analysis is important. But where and how can we calculate the cost? The first method of calculating the cost is static query analysis, which performs a static analysis on the GraphQL query. It can be applied wherever we have the query, at the client, in the proxy, or at the server. The second method is dynamic query analysis, which sums up the cost in the GraphQL execution engine as it's evaluating the query. The third method is query response analysis, which uses the JSON response to figure out how expensive the query was. Response analysis can be applied wherever we have the response data, usually on the proxy or the client. Why do we need more than one kind of GraphQL cost analysis? Imagine a request at a retail store for up to 100 products in a special category, and some details about each product. A static analysis of the query tells us that we might gather the details by calling those resolver functions 100 times. But if search criteria matches less than 10 products, then the server would call each of those resolver functions less than 10 times. Both costs are important. For threat protection, we should use how expensive a query might be before we execute it. For monetization, we can authorize based on how expensive a query might be, but charge money based on how expensive a query actually was. For rate limiting, either cost is appropriate, or we could even charge a user based on the upper bound and then refund their rate limit at the end of the transaction. Which of these methods you'll use depends on why you're calculating the cost and on where you're calculating it. While there are dramatically different options for how to calculate cost, we believe that these are the three fundamental methods of GraphQL cost analysis. Thanks for watching.